Welcome, friends, to a new episode of Mind Speaks, Soul Listens. The views and opinions expressed by the speakers in this recording are solely based on their own individual perspectives and experiences. They form only part of the truth, and we strongly encourage listeners to form their own conclusion based on their own living experience. Yeah, I just want to add with regards to that the healing, right? So obviously we have to have exercise a sense of common sense, right? Let's say if you physically are in pain, you please do not attempt to do meditation because that's futile, right? If you're in pain, visit a doctor.
Yes.
Or take a painkiller.
Yeah, meditation won't cure a broken ankle. It will not. So we have to exercise a bit of common sense on this spiritual path, because we are ethereal. We are a being with multiple bodies, right? Your ethereal self, and then your mental bodies, esoteric bodies. All these bodies, sometimes they experience pain on a different level, right? Sometimes the pain that you have as a physical being is a manifestation from a deeper pain right down to maybe your causal body, right? Where you have to go in and actually look deep down. Why is this? Usually this kind of pain manifests itself in form of diseases in humans, right? An example would be cancer, right? This is not, it's not like, I bump into somebody and then I get cancer, right?
Yeah.
No, it's somebody cough in your face, you don't get cancer. So it seems like, which is interesting, because previously we were just talking about DNA, reprogramming your DNA. So your DNA, of course, contains a lot of future diseases that you might or might not suffer from, but you have the marks in a person's DNA. From a certain genetic line, you might be, in your genetic line, you have a high chance of being diabetic if you don't watch your sugar intake. For example, this is something some people are born into. It's not a choice. Sometimes they can lead a healthy lifestyle and still be diabetic, right? So how do we solve this genetic disease? Is usually when you dig deeper in, like what Nay mentioned, you go right to the core and reprogram that flaw, I would say, there. It might still manifest in you because you are a carrier of that in this physical self, but what you're doing essentially is reprogramming for your future generations that's coming, the future incarnates of your bloodline, that this might not happen to them because of you. You did that selfless thing to reprogram that on a deeper level, and I find this way of living actually is very selfless and is highly encouraged from a spiritual standpoint, because especially for us initiates, we know that our lifetime on this creation is numbered, right? It's either this life or the next that you're going. So why not create something that the future generations can reap from? So when you change, everyone else down the road changes. So I find this is a good precept to actually live upon. It's now no more about you, because you have already been saved.
Yeah, but it's very hard for the people who just make a selfless choice, right?
Yeah.
How can you train yourself to be selfless? How? Tell me.
Well, when it dawns on you that like the master is taking care of everything, then all you can do is just make choices that you know what? Okay, for example, just imagine yourself inheriting like $1 billion, right?
Okay.
And you only got like 20 more, for example, you only got 20 more years to live. What can you eat in this world that will use up all these $1 billion? No, you can't. You can't even eat if I print $1 billion in paper notes, you can't even eat the money, right?
Yes.
It's impossible for you to spend. So what would you do? You will use that amount of wealth and you invest in your future lineages down the road. I don't know, you build like schools like, oh, if you know, if my future great grandson comes into being, right, he gets to attend this university, for example, free of charge. I don't know, this is just me giving like Takin's example, right? But this is what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to plant the seed of grace that we have right now, so that the future generations can reap from it. And not many people want to do that. Majority of them are just focused on my own self-enlightenment. I need to go home to my true home. That's it. You guys deal with your own problems, right? Bye. So I believe this is kind of like selfish, although we know that Master will be taking care of our future generations. But when you talk about really choice making, why can't you just make this choice? I mean, this is, I don't know, maybe spiritual maturity plays a part in this, but I do not know how to say it better.
Yeah. For me, what make me observe the selfless choice is when I have a good example in my life. And the best example is my master as a person, right? I observe how he live, how he interact with people, and I found that this character, even a comic character, is very selfless. So when I tried to think, okay, what my master gonna make decision on this matter, right? The choice A or choice B, if he is me, right? Then right away I would think, well, he is a selfless person, so he will making a selfless choice. So for me, it worked by observe the best example and try to live by that example. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true. And just to add on to that point, some of us even go beyond, you know, your own generations, your own. We probably, some of us, I know some light workers, they do meditation for humanity, for creation in itself, for Mother Earth, right? You don't have to do this, you know. Why spend your time? But these are examples of beings on earth that have attained some form of spiritual enlightenment or advancement, that they put their life into the mission and they dedicate their whole being into the mission. And I feel it's kind of it's a thankless service. You can't thank them enough. Like, thank you just doesn't satisfy that amount of sacrifice.
Yeah. There was one time I met with this brother. He asked me, sister, why you do so much meditation? I said, for myself and for the world. He said, well, the world is illusion. Why you want to make the choice when you give out blessing and hard-earned blessing or spiritual merit for this world, which is illusion? I said, yes, because I feel grateful that my master saved me from this illusion. I know personally I'm safe anyway, whether I'm doing or not doing, whether I meditate for the world or not meditate for the world, it doesn't matter. But for me, because I'm so grateful that I feel that I have to share this opportunity for others who mark to come in the future, and also for the world to be a better place, because my master saying that we can develop spiritually, we can progress spiritually only when we in the right environment. So at the same time that I develop myself, I'm also try to develop, you know, the spiritual vibration in the world where I am, whatever I do or whoever I met, so they can feel this love and compassion that I adopt, that I learn from my master. I'm just spreading this around. And of course, I don't actually fixate on the result, because I know the result is also in my master hand. So that's how we can actually live our life selflessly, because we save anyway. Either I'm just doing or not doing anything, I'm out. But then, what about my family, my relative, my friends, my brother and sister in this world? What about them? That they believe so much so that the suffering is real. Their struggle life is real. We cannot convince them that, hey, look, forget it. Your life is illusion,
Yeah.
right? You cannot.
Well, try taking a knife and stabbing somebody in the leg, right? The illusion just goes away because the pain is so unbearable. It's like, why are you screaming in pain? It's an illusion. Wake up. No, yeah, it's illusion, but the experience is very real. It's real in the sense that you feel it.
What do you think, Tanya?
Yeah.
A lot of things, I think.
Right.
So it's so interesting because I think you both know that I'm working in this bubble called trauma and nervous system, and so there are so many similarities. There are so many that I can compare what you are saying. If you are talking, for example, to live in the right in a good or right environment. So everybody then thinks about the surroundings, yeah? But it's about the environment called body, the environment in your body and in your brain. And so by for example, if you tell about future generations, so now there are signs about trauma. They know that there is transgenerational trauma. So we give trauma from one generation to another generation. And so this is so remarkable because even if you don't believe in future lives, but you believe in, I want to heal, and you start a trauma therapy, you are actually doing work for your future or for any generation before and after you.
Yeah.
So even if you are not selfless in that point, you are selfless, even you don't know it.
Yeah.
So it's very important to know that this body is a gift. We have given this body was given to us not just to walk around stupidly, eat, drink, sleep, and nothing else. There is a purpose with this body, and of course we also have learned that the purpose is also only in this body I can find salvation. I can become a seeker, and I can be able to meditate. But how can I be able to meditate in a wrong or in a bad environment?
Yep.
So I have first to heal this body, and by doing that, I'm healing all my generations.
Yeah.
So it's just the perfect system, all the way along the way. It's a perfect system.
It is. It's a perfect system, but not all of us are on the path of healing, right? Some of us are on the path of destroying, right? The body, right? It's like, why am I like caring about the future generations that I will not meet? Let me just go to McDonald's and just stuff my mouth with fries and burgers, right? So it like what I mentioned to you, yes, subconsciously it's about being selfless, but as you mentioned, there are people that are saying, oh, you know what, I need to address this trauma because I just feel I need it, right? Now these guys might not be initiates or might not even be on a spiritual path, but yet they took that step, right? Then again, this proves that people being selfless is actually not in their hands. It's
yes.
Okay, let me paint you a scenario. Let's say somebody comes to you who's not spiritual at all and says, hi Tanya, I want to deal with my trauma, help me solve this issue. What is not to say that this person might have a future generation that will become an initiate? And so now, who heals who at what point of time is the rescuer in, right? At that point of time when that person gets initiate, or at this point of time when this non-initiate came to you, right? So then again, it's endless of probabilities like this, which I don't want to even think of it, right? But it happens this way. It's insane. Yeah. So that's the miracle that we are seeing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Somebody asked me, about the country that near my country, Burma or Myanmar. Myanmar, they have been calling themselves Dharma land. By believing that there are many saints that hidden in Burma right now. And look, there's a good example one. Her name is Aung San Suu Kyi. Okay, he put her role in political part to bring peace in Burma, right? She vegetarian and she meditate a lot. Same. And people just ask me, okay, when they say that they are the Dharma land, right? Why right now there's so much conflict in their country? I say, well, there are individual karma and there are also collective karma as the country. So it means that a person, a saintly person, when they truly liberate themselves, if they are saintly, they have to go back and save their 9th generation or sort out their collective karma. This is so natural and it's not something that they have to think. That's why Master always say to us, by saving ourselves, we also save our 9th generation or give opportunity for liberation for them as well. But today, I like what Takin say about we can reprogram, right? We can reprogram our choices now, that we can make the choice from collective point of view. Okay, if you are now, on behalf of your 9th generation, or let's say your country, to make a choice, what choice you gonna make? Naturally, you will feel the sense of nobility, right? Your noble thought will come and saying that, hey, I have big responsibility here, so therefore I'm gonna make the choice that benefit everyone, including myself, of course. So on that, you will never make a wrong choice. You will always make the choice, using your free will that's in alignment with God's will, because you use love and compassion as your guide, right? Yeah. So same like the technique that Tanya used to heal herself, right? By healing yourself, you heal the people that connect with you within your 9th generation, or you heal, let's say, the collective consciousness of your country that has suffered before, right? Or do you intentionally doing it? No, it's what you do anyway, because you want to take care of yourself. You're on this healthy path, right? And you want to take care of your well-being, and it's just natural that you do it anyway. But what if we expand our consciousness to say that, oh, by helping myself, everybody also be helped without me knowing, who I help.
It's a ripple effect.
Because in the beginning, we start our conversation with the DNA.
Yes.
So the encoding of the DNA is there. Your 9th generation also live inside you by this DNA, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have any other question?
I have some, but they are not in in the line of what we have now talked about.
Okay.
It's okay. I mean, you can ask those questions, or we can just work on top of the topic that we are talking about right now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not so far away from that. Let's try it out. So I'm very much into this concept of having a team, or be in a team, working in a team. Like you were now you talked about your time by meditating on yourself, but in the same time you had this open consciousness, this wide and collective mind in you. And then working as a team. So my question, what I wrote down was that always so that and we just thought there is only one that we have to praise, and so, but in truth there is always a team that works on something higher, or to expand consciousness or something like that.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I'm actually have conversation with Takim today about the team. The team that is actually working on the mission of, rescue or save soul or give salvation to soul who asks for help or asks for liberation when their time has come. Okay, Takim, you can, answer this question first. Let me collect my thought.
Okay, no, I'm just gonna bring my opinion from a world perspective, like a let's say non-spiritual perspective. Like, what does it mean working in a team when there's only one? I mean, true. Like, okay, let's take for example Earth, right? The planet Earth. There's only one planet, right? But if you dig deeper, it's actually a collective of beings making this planet Earth. For example, you have the forest, right? Forest is not only one being, it's multiple beings. You have the trees, you have the insects, the animals. These guys, they work collectively together to form that rainforest. And of course you see the other aspects of beings, like the wind, the heat, the oxygen molecules, the nitrogen molecules, all encompassing and working harmoniously together in a team. Now, I think from a human perspective, we usually say teams work together hand in hand and everybody is happy, right? But actually, teams can also be complementary of each other, right? Like in terms of the animal kingdom, you have a team, which means that you have an apex predator and then you have the prey. The apex predator will eat the prey. Now, you might say, why are teammates eating each other, right? But you have to think from a creator perspective. This has to happen so that the whole food chain will work, harmoniously together. Now, ironically, humans itself, we come in and we try to destroy the team. Ironically, right? We cut down the rainforest, we plow the lands, and then what happens then, right? But from a zoom out perspective, you notice that humans are also doing what humans do, which is sometimes to destroy. We are like a virus, right? So we are also part of the creation, right? That is a being that is supposed to be doing this from a team collective effort, from a creation perspective. So there's no right or wrong, but we just have to understand that we are working as a team. That's where we can stop our bad habits or bad behaviors, and we say, wait a minute, I'm also part of this earth and I'm going to do my part, right? I'm going to be, for example, carbon neutral in my daily activities. I'm going to go on a plant-based diet because I do not want to see my team members, who is a sentient being, get slaughtered, right? So this is us realizing that we are working in a collective team earth, right? And then we change our behavior, and when we change our behavior, it's a ripple effect, like what you mentioned earlier. It's a ripple effect. Then it's the ripple starts to your family, to your friends, and then to your neighbors, and then a whole collective of you will then evolve as a whole. And then you might find that maybe in a few years' time, the country that you live in, everybody's like plant-based, right? What happened there, right? So I feel this team is it's bigger than we think it is, but some of us are just aware that we are team players, while others are just ignorant to the fact, and then just doing their own playing their own characters and DVDs per se. Yeah.
Yeah, like in the concept of God, right? Our master always say that in God there is the existence of the one and the many at the same time. So okay, how can we understand the one when we are experiencing the many here at the same time, right? Okay, so in my religion, Buddhism, there's no existence of God, right? But when I come and study about the path of the master or Satmat, I come to learn about the word God. Okay, so I try to find what is the meaning of this word God. So I found that God cannot come here to see us in person. God is not a person, but God come as different viewpoints, different characters to fulfill his godliness. So by being that, right, then God also being in the many at the same time that in that oneness we have a sense of godliness inside us. Okay, and in order for us to work with this spiritual mission wisely with the wisdom of God, okay, we have to respect one another opinion. You know, when we make any decision, or let's say somebody receive divine will, also called march, how do you know is the march by God, by your soul, and not the march by your mind, right? The only way that you can check is you are checking with another God in human body. What come into their experience, and you compare note. That's why this is a team, because when we have team in this rescue mission or spiritual mission, the mission actually work better, because we exercise godliness, the quality of God inside this team. Only we work as the team, then we know God. Otherwise, that mission will only be for the sake of the mind if there's only one leader saying everything, doing everything. But how that leader know that whatever he or she received as the divine will is correct? Because if there is only one, you cannot compare, right? And you feel that you cannot do mistake. But as the team, we know that, okay, you have your weak point, I have my strong point. So together we can help. Because once you realize that you are not God, you are part of God. But together we make this concept of God in oneness, in perfection. Because me am only one viewpoint of God. So whatever I do or whatever I think, I only think from my limited viewpoint. But what if I say to my team, okay, I have this idea, how we can work better to spread the teaching of the truth. I share this idea to my team, to my friends. And then my friends say, yeah, I pick up the same experience. I read something about this. Or somebody saying, oh yeah, this morning I did meditation and this thought come up inside me. And I don't know, whether, this is my idea or master tried to tell me something. When you compare the experience, so you know that you make the right choice and not be limited by your own only one single viewpoint. But as the collective, we can make decision together.
Perfect.
Yeah. Just to add on, I think there's a misconception about the word God and humans, right? I think the easiest one is like my favorite phrase: God is in humans, but a human is not God.
Yeah.
So it's very it's a very philosophical statement that usually, and for the audience of this spiritual path, right? Master is you, but you are not the master, right? As soon as you identify yourself as somebody that you are not, or as the collective, then you have exercised your own ego in claiming to be something. But be sure and certain that master is in you, but not the other way around. So this is that kind of relationship, and and usually some of us, when we are on this path alone, I would say the success rate is very, very low, because you have to deal with the fact that you cannot answer this question: is this my mind, or is this the Moch, or a divine will? Because it's impossible for you to differentiate, because everything has been so interlaced into this thing called a human being. That's impossible. You can say, oh no, I have this vision that I'm supposed to be the new Messiah, right? And then you go on and having this Messiah complex to other people, and then they will just look at you, and maybe some might follow you, some might not, and then you say, what's wrong? Why are these guys not following me? I'm the Messiah, right? That's where you have fallen into the trap. So in order for you not to be in that trap, you have to have fellow friends who can then tell you, no, that's obviously your mind saying it. Then you can, like, okay, cross-check, done. Maybe my friend is like, having some grudges against me, giving me an answer that my mind is not satisfied. Let's wait. And the best confirmation that you can get is actually not from a human being, but from circumstances in your experience. Something will come, like a sign at the side of the road that says, I'm here with you. This is out of the blue. What are the chances of this sign coming up in my experience when I'm thinking of this? Then be sure that is the answer, right? Or a bird coming down and going, like, stepping on some piece of paper, and when you pick up the paper, it literally spells out, I'm here with you, and you're like, wait, what's the chances of this happening? So I think if we exercise this on a daily basis, we get better and better at looking out for signs, like what Nay mentioned. This has to be a daily affair till it becomes natural. Like, wait, let's just give 10 seconds. I know he's going to give the answer in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you see a bird. Yeah, there you go. Or you see the sun shining down on you. There you go.
Yeah.
It's confirmation.
But you have to have the capacity to pick it up.
Exactly. So you have to train yourself to look for the signs.
Yes.
And you cannot, like, expect the sign. Then you're exercising your mind. Like, okay, I'm just going to look for a sun ray, right? No. It doesn't work that way. It has to come from a period of lapse. There's a gap there, and then the sign will come. And this is usually beyond the mind. Yeah. So, yeah, great. I believe you have another question, right?
I have another question. Yeah. I think I put it aside because I wanted to put it
right
to ask it at the last point.
It's okay.
And I want to explain a little bit around.
Yeah, sure.
Because I just put the question, I wrote just down, why do we not all shine? And the reason for that was that I read a book years ago about biophotons. And this book tells about that every cell is light. And in every cell in our body there is light. And then we have billions of cells. And then I was I had also some experience in my meditation, and then this popped up that I thought, because I can't see now, my hands are not shining from I can't see that.
Okay.
But they are full of light.
Yeah.
So why can't I see this light?
You're staring at the light, right? It's like the sun asking, why am I not bright? Yeah.
It's actually to do with the multiple layers of karma. that we actually cover ourselves with. Yes, the soul shine. We shine as soul. We are light, right? From the soul. Like in the scripture, Master say that, oh, our soul is like 16 sun or even more. How bright it is, right? But we cannot see because you put yourself in the layers of this mind, these senses, and then the most dense form is this physical body. That's why you cannot see. And if you look for that light that shine within yourself using your physical eye, you're not gonna see, right?
Yes.
You have to use your inner eye, which is located at the wisdom eye center to see that light. But in order to see that light, we have to go and transcend beyond the multiple layers of our own limitation. And then when you become limitless, and from that perspective, you observe again, you will definitely see the light. Okay. So during my retreat, right, I have observed different layers of myself, and the last layers is of course the soul. The reason why my soul cannot see myself as the soul, which is a drop from divine or a part of God, because I have this weight upon me, right? And this weight is like a layers of complication or karma or troubles or trauma, like you said, that build upon us, so we cannot see. And also this creation, this karmic creation, built to draw our attention outside at all time. Look at your lifestyle. How many times you sit close eye and study yourself a day, right? All the time you spend the time on the screen, right? On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, talking with people, working outside to sustain your physical life. You sell your soul to go to work for 8-9 hours a day, and when you go back you want out already. You're tired from multiple layers of yourself. You get triggered by your senses. Somebody might trigger your emotion at work. The boss maybe give you a very difficult task, so that your mind work up, overwork at that time. And when you come back home, you still feel that sense, you still carry that burden home. So therefore, your physical body will feel lifeless, will feel very tired. And then our master teach this technique to just listen to our inner calling or study ourselves, that we are not this physical body, we not these senses, we not this mind. We are a current, inside. And they use that word, they use Shabbat, right? The current, the divine flow inside. Then if we truly want to see that we shine like each day, then yes, we have to really look inside using our inner eye, and also the inner method, that you can go and withdraw your attention inside to see that you are the soul, and remind yourself every day from the experiential part, experiential point, that you remind yourself every day that you see yourself as the soul. And then what happened? Firstly, it might come as glimpses, like, okay, sometimes you see in meditation that's full of light in the room, that you sit and meditate, and that light actually project from yourself. Okay. And if you be able to see this light daily, even when you lie down and sleep, and then you do so much meditation that you can reverse your attention and see yourself as the soul every day, then you will see that your physical body lit up, your astral body lit up, your mind, your mental body also lit up with this quality of love, which is the quality of the soul. And when this quality of love, compassion, mercy, and the shyness and light, right, come out from your pores, every bioproton inside your cell start to register the vibration of divine love, unconditional love. That's when you go out in the world. Next time, when somebody try to attack you emotionally, you happen to calm that person down. When the boss start to give you heavy task, you said, no, I can only do, what I can today, let that problem be the other day. You learn that you can transform environment around you by having this quality. That's why you say like, okay, somebody can shine and other not. I think it's to do with where they put their attention. If they put their attention or withdraw their attention inside and recognize themselves as the soul at all time, and then they shine. Wherever they are, they will shine. But if people still recognize themselves as this karmic body, as this karmic being, as this emotion, this mind, then they cannot see what's lying beyond.
This reminds me of a question from a lady to another Sufi master, and the question was, it was very interesting. She questioned, when people got old, they got so angry and so frustrated. Why is that? And the Sufi master said, because they lose their connection to the divine. So it was really so, oh, wow, yes.
Yeah, I feel they probably collect a lot of karmic baggage. That's why they totally lose the essence that they are also the soul or the divine being. Yeah. And a lot of time people ask death to come, when they feel in that burden, that state of burden, that they cannot even move or breathe and live this physical being properly, then death come. That's how we make an exit, like a temporary exit from this physical being, physical circumstance. Because I have this conversation with my mother about the people who commit suicide. She said, yeah, if anyone want to commit suicide, go ahead. Why? Because she said that they maybe believe that will end all the problem, right? But no, the same problem actually carry on, and next time it even worse. Like in our Buddhism culture, we believe that if somebody commits suicide once, they have to come back 10 lifetimes to pay for that. And each lifetime, they have to go the same thing and commit suicide. And they will get out of it the 11th lifetime. Then they come back again to, to live a good, normal life. So there's no way out, truly. If you make that decision to take your life because you feel so much suffering, I feel that those people should look into alternative way where they can learn the technique by die while living. That even better, because they will have chances to study about themselves and fix the problem. And they don't have to go through another 10 lifetime of committing suicide. So this is very important.
Yes, very important.
That's why God have a lot of mercy on our suffering. God always sends somebody living among us as human beings but have the awareness of the totality, very wise man or woman, helping us when we in that darkness of suffering. God always sends somebody to help, if that somebody truly asks sincerely and be patient enough for the help to show up, because I feel the suffering also have a cycle of it. You can only go down so much to just go up, right? So I feel when somebody face immense suffering, there's always a moment of relief. We not truly remain on suffering at all time. This life, this human life, mixing with 50% happiness and 50% suffering. But then a lot of people, they get so addictive on their suffering that they carry on that thought of suffering. Even when they're out of suffering, they still feel like, next minute the suffering will come while I'm in this happiness, right? And in the suffering, they think also, happiness will never come. So at all time, they train their mind to just experience suffering. So these people feel grounded, feel human, because they have suffering. It's very funny, because the only way that we know that we are human is to experience pain and suffering, right?
Yes, it's also something that has to do with talking. How you call that when you have such belief sentence in your mind? There's how do you call that in English?
Disillusion.
No, like when you experienced in early childhood, somebody says to you all the time that you can't do that, you are stupid, you are this, you are that. So you build up this belief system that you are not good enough, and then you stay in this suffering for a long time. Even if you are 50, 60, 70 years old, you still believe this same thing, what you have experienced in early childhood. And then it's hard. You can't come out of that easily, not by thinking. So this is so important also to take this point, maybe also that to come on the spiritual path as a child. So how would be that if we would teach our children from early childhood that there is something else than like religions and so on. That some do that, I'm sure, that they teach their children the spirituality and not the religions. But I think it's not enough yet. There should be more teachings about spirituality. Like for example, in school, when I went to school, there was Catholicism or Protestant in the school, what they taught us. But then by time they changed this concept, and then it was called ethic. And now they have also changed, and there is moral rules or something like that. So they put more of this kind in schools when teaching children.
Right.
So, but spirituality is not a part yet anywhere in schools or maybe in houses. Yeah, but this is private. You don't know.
Yeah, I think for education, especially education for young kids, we have to tread a very middle path, because you wouldn't want to be how should I say it, instilling a lot of preconditioned beliefs that you have onto the child. But however, we do not want to let the child be ultra wild, right? Don't indoctrinate this child with a lot of preconceived ideas about God, the invisible man in the sky, let him choose his own religion, right? But then again, I think what you mentioned is correct. We need to teach children or people at a very young age what it means to be a good human being. You know, then you can put the spiritual path onto them, because I don't think it will work if you teach a child at such a young age about spirituality. He has not explored the world yet. You are preventing that being from learning his own life lessons, right? Then he does not know what is the tribulations of up and down, what is suffering. He doesn't know, right? If you brainwash that person, it's like, oh, from a young age you are this, you are actually not doing him a good service. You should instead adopt a mentality of fail fast. Do make all the mistakes in your life, and when you are tired, then you come and meet me again and we have these conversations again, and then let's see where you went wrong, right? I think that I don't know, for me, I believe that's the fastest way to learn, to make mistakes.
Okay. You know how the best way to fix this issue, right? I feel somebody maybe, okay, I will be so grateful if somebody in my previous generation happened to encoding that morality in my DNA. And then I born with that DNA. So naturally, I am wise, right? I'm clever.
Half the battle is won.
Since the time of birth, right? And I go through this life with this built-in morality within me, within my cell, my element, my bioproton, right? So this is how Master or God actually gives salvation to us. So because Master, right, they will pick the race, the group of people that sincerely asking for help, asking for liberation from the cycle of suffering. And they send Master consciousness to be born as a person in that soul group. So you know what happened? So that encoding that DNA, you know, to make all the generations, you know, that 9 generation within that group have this saintly quality, noble quality. And then, you know, that's how the quickest way we can do it. Okay, so let me quote from Rumi, right? Rumi said, when I was clever, I want to change the world, right? But when I'm wise, I want to change myself. So meaning, okay, start from you, Takin, and me. We try to change the program inside us, that I want to live a moral life. I want to embody this noble quality for the next generation to come. By you fix this bioproton or encoding in your DNA, the future generation get benefit, or even the generation that be born and in your experience right now will also get benefit. Your immediate family, your friends, you know, your loved one, your plant, your animal, everybody will get affected by this, by you having this noble quality inside yourself. So this is the quickest way that Master actually saved us. You know, you see that many generations pass, perfect living Master born as Indian, right? But now you see, wow, they spread all over the world. They can be one Chinese guy, they can be one African man, they can be anywhere. Why? Because previously, this group also asking for help. And the time has come that the change need to happen for that group. That's why in this dark age, you know, Kali Yuga, there's a lot of master being born on this planet, because there's a lot more true seekers has been born on this planet as well. And because of suffering, They want a way out. I understand we cannot change the whole society the way it is. We cannot change the political system. We cannot change the system of education. What if we change ourselves first? And this self, create a ripple effects within the environment that you live in. Let's say you do this at first, okay, for your family. After that, okay, I want to do this for my country. And after that, you doing this for the whole mankind. What about that? So this is actually more permanent change that we can do by changing our behavior, mindset, to have more and more saintly quality. But you can only do this when you're not alone, right? That's why you need companionship. That's why no matter what, we need a spiritual guide. We need a good example that live the same human life, go through the same struggle, just like us, but still remain very loving, very noble, very compassionate, so that we can learn to walk on that footstep.
Yep, that's true. And
this is
no, I just want to add, touching on that topic of helping your future generations. So most of us take the easy route, right? Like when a perfect living master is in town, we'll bring our whole family there. Even the kids, right? Oh, you need to have a one-on-one session with this PLM or perfect living master so that your life will be saved, right? But I feel you might or might not be doing them some justice, because they might not be on that perfect living master's list, right? You just plunk him on top there and say, my job is done, right? Right? It's done. But actually what you should do is you yourself reprogram your own self so that this little kid, or the future kids, that your future offsprings, right, will subconsciously inherit whatever that you have done, because it's in your bloodline now. It's no more in a fictional theoretical model that you have in your head that you impart via conversations with your kid or your family. It's now embedded. So when something is embedded, it transcends lifetimes. And I think it's a good way to start. You first start from yourself, like the Rumi quote, right? Change yourself. And even Michael Jackson sings about it, right? Man in the mirror.
Man in the mirror.
Yeah. Make a change. So you look in the mirror and you will see where the change needs to happen, which is that person that you're seeing in the mirror. So be the change you want to see in the world. Exactly. Because I had this conversation with my friend about spirituality, and he was saying, man, in this age of TikToks and a lot of distraction, should I get my kid to start meditating? I was like, hold on, you need to let your kid be a kid, right? Why are you turning him into a renunciate, a monk? Why? Right? So hold the horses. Why not you be the perfect living parent that you want your kid to model after? And then your kid will come to realize at a very young age that I want to be like my father. I'm not going to be like this guy, on TikTok or whoever who's like doing crazy stuff. I want to be like my dad. So there is always a benchmark. But if you are not, if you yourself behave like like some weird influencer, right? You yourself at home, your kid will tend to look elsewhere for a role model. Trust me. Be it and your kid will know better. Like, oh, I think this guy is cool, right? I want to dye my hair pink color, right? Because it's cool. Nobody told me, right? But this is inevitable, right? That you need to actually be the perfect living example. But it's easier said than done, like I mentioned. Because we are humans, we are born with imperfections. We need to embody our imperfections actually, and not strive to become Superman. We can be Superman on the inside, but on the outside we are still human, right?
Yeah, but I feel that we can have Avenger team.
We can.
Adventure team,
Yeah, we can. Like Marvel superheroes, we can, you know. Except that, you will never see people, flying from point A to point B.
Yeah, because Takin said to me about the concept of Navy SEAL, right? When they train themselves, and they have this concept called buddy, right? Yeah, Takin tell us about that.
No, I've always been fascinated with this military unit, special operation unit in the United States. They are called the Navy SEALs. Very highly respected. I'm attracted to them because of the teamwork, number one, and the ability for each of them to know that they are part of a larger collective, and they are not in it for themselves. They are in it always for the team. It's always a team effort. So we is the new me, right? So it's the we. There's no me in a SEAL team, you know. And I always think, as a spiritual practitioner, it's good to realize that it's not about you, man. It's about everybody. You cannot just say, I'm going to go back home. You guys can, take how many lifetimes you want. It's none of my business. No, it is your business, you know.
Yes.
Because you are not going to go home if everyone else is at the back, right? There's only one bus, right? There's only one ship, one bus, one aeroplane, one train, right? You already met the driver. Now we are all in this journey. So either we have a smooth sailing journey, or we can have a traumatic journey in that airplane ride full of turbulences up and down. But be it your plane ticket is already set, your destination is set, you're already on it. So why not, have a journey together, like a happy journey together. So I think this journey of spirituality is not meant to be spent alone, right? It's meant to be spent in a group, and it's going to be a happy, like Ishwaji mentioned, right? Enjoy the journey. Why go back in suffering? Go back with full of smile and laughter and joy, right? I think we've taken quite some time on this episode. I think we shall probably meet up again on another episode. I'll just end it here for now, for today. That's it for today's episode. If you'd like to listen to more content like this one, please follow and like our channel. Links can be found in the description. See you next time, and thank you for listening.